The Social Life. My name is Deanna Miller. We are the Social Life Podcast. I am the co-founder and marketing director for Stark Social Media Agency. With me, as always, talking about social marketing, digital marketing, web design, all things amazing on the interwebs is Nate Imhoff.
Hello.
The creative director.
Yes.
He directs things creatively.
Hey, it's been a while.
It has been a bit. It's been a bit. We've been busy.
Very. But we're in a new studio, so that's good.
Yeah. So Audio Guru built his own fancy studio, and we're excited about it.
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool. Work with me, people. That's what it says right in front of me.
Oh, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, he's got all these like little signs everywhere.
Work with me, people.
And little knickknacks he likes.
It's awesome. There's a Mr. Bill on here, and I'm really excited.
There's a Gumby up there.
Nobody knows who Mr. Bill is, though, beyond like a certain age. It's like, what is that guy? Is that from like, what is it? I don't get it. We also have the Animaniacs joining us today.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the Animaniacs are a favorite of mine as well. And that's actually funny because all the stuff, the little tchotchke things that are in the studio sort of brings us to the topic that we're talking about today.
Right.
How to bridge the gap generationally with social marketing, which is pretty funny because we come across a lot of different types of businesses, a lot of different types of groups that we work with, nonprofit organizations that target different specific users, and we come across a lot of that being generational.
So we're going to talk about how to reach baby boomers like Audio Guru.
Well, maybe not Audio Guru specifically, but we're still working on him. So
throw in free coffee or whatever.
Slice of pie.
Oh, blueberry.
Oh,
Blueberry.
Two slices of pie.
Yeah,
just cut pie in half.
Yeah, he's all about like.
Audio Guru.
Yeah, you got pie? Is it blueberry? No? Get out of here.
So we're talking today about millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers. They're all on social media, obviously, in some form or fashion. Whether they're on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, Snapchat, all the other fancy ones. You need to know how and when they're active and making the rounds to potentially view your content. I think that's the biggest hurdle that I come across whenever we're doing social marketing or we're designing websites specifically for different types of groups. Because you really need to pay attention to who they are, what they're looking for, and where they're going to be when they're looking for it.
Right. Well, I don't think you want to be, I mean, we have the three groups, but they don't all act the same. They're not all, baby boomers don't always respond the same way, so we have various.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't read the research.
I did read the research. I'm reading it.
Reading it right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. That's why we'll never have a radio show. Anyway.
I read it.
So the first things I want to talk about is we usually do the hey, this is what you should do, and then this is what you shouldn't do. So let's just start with a couple of ideas that I found after doing some research online. So the biggest mistakes that you really want to avoid is thinking that a particular generation is just all the same. So you can't assume that everybody who falls into the baby boomer time frame is the same because they're all different. Everybody who's a Gen Xer is different. We all have different time periods within the different generational sections that, you were brought up in. So there are certain people who were raised at certain periods of time with different types of influences and different types of things that were around at the time. The other mistake is assuming that every generation can be reached in the same way. So to say that...
I said that.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of me.
That's what I was trying to say.
I'm okay. All right, just relax.
What she said. That's what I was trying to say.
I just say it prettier. So the first thing that you really want to think about is if you're selling something to all three generations, you want to think about each segment in a unique and different way. You want to use marketing techniques that appeal to the specific generation, absolutely. You want to target each generation specifically in a way that is going to appeal to them in a broad sense, but then you also want to understand the things that you should do for each generation that might make you a little bit more successful than just doing a broad sweep.
So you're going to try to reach baby boomers on Snapchat.
Well, we're gonna get to the tips. No, I think you're ask you me there, buddy. Ask you me.
I'm being sarcastic.
So actually, what's interesting about some statistics I found on QuickSprout, which was really cool, there's a little over 76 million Americans fall into the baby boomer demographic. So that's 1946 to 64. So that's like my dad right there.
Was it?
Yeah, my dad was born in 1946. Like he's right there.
Yeah, my folks too.
Yeah, and then all the other old people.
All the other old people.
I joke because my dad actually listens to this. So if people aren't aware, because I don't know how much they teach in school anymore. So the boom actually refers to the population spike around that time period, right, post World War II. So that's good information to have if you didn't already have it. Because I know I've actually talked to a few people who didn't know what the boom was. Like, why are they baby boomers? Like, what happened? They all just...
Really?
Yeah. I've actually talked to a few...
in the name.
I don't think that's relatable, though, because I think we learned about it in history, right, when we were kids. But I think they skip over so much. Now it's like, what's important? What's not?
You take all the fellas away, they come back.
They're ready for a different kind of action.
Yeah.
So I after doing some research, I came up with a list of things that we'll talk about for each generation, which I think is pretty good in terms of, coming up with your strategy. And this is really important for businesses that are looking to make sure that they're hitting all the important demographics. So I think this is also really important to take into account when you're building a website for your audience. You don't want to assume when you're building a website that your audience is going to be one type of user or one type of generation or one type of learner, because then you could potentially be alienating a whole other group of people.
Well, right. If you're building for instance, we have a gym. You build a website for a gym. It's going to be different than a senior living facility. You're going to have a different audience, and you need to take that into account. Right.
Absolutely.
Different generation. And
I think also, too, like we just built the website for Ignition Fitness here locally.
What's up, Jim?
What's up, Jim? Jim at the gym. And, you really have to take into account that they offer a variety of fitness services from everyone to, 3-year-olds to, seniors. So you want to make sure that the information that you're providing, regardless of what kind of website you're building, that when you're using it to share content, you have to think about, is this going to resonate with this age group?
Right.
Is this going to resonate with this age group? Is it going to be easy to find what this person's looking for? And I know for a fact, me as a person born in the Generation Xer thingamajigger,
Gen X,
I have the same thought process as my dad, who's a boomer. If I go to a website and I can't find what I need right away, I'm going to click away. And that's just the way
I don't know
is.
That's a generational thing. I mean,
no, but that's what I'm saying is
you make something too complicated and it's like, not worth it. I'm out. Peace.
I can't find the contact button.
Oh,
it's too hard.
The stuff that comes through websites. We were doing a jazz festival and I had 2 people write. The information is the lineup. You have artists, the day. Literally, the information is in 4 different spots. And
right.
They wrote an email because it's easier to write an email to ask the question than to look anywhere. Literally, it's when you come to the page, it's right there on the page.
Right.
They're like, hey.
Some people you just can't make happy though.
There's times where I tend to side with the user, right? If
right.
I see a bunch of people having problems with it, I'm like, okay, well, this is our problem. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, you're dumb. I don't know how to fix that.
I wouldn't necessarily say dumb. I would just say
I would.
We're not. This is
or
not,
lazy.
This isn't a good space for you to be in. Let's move away.
Maybe the internet's not for you, my friend.
So let's start with the list of the best ways to reach baby boomers. So I have some stuff on here that I want to share with the fabulous people of the world. So the first thing you really want to make sure that you're taking into account.
You're going to Gen X explain this to the baby boomers?
I am totally going to Gen X explain this to baby boomers. Is you want to make sure Facebook. There you go. That's all you need to know. Facebook.
Yeah, they do love Facebook.
So the majority of baby boomers are actually hardcore Facebook users. And I know this because
It's practically a senior home now. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
wow. I need a new co-host. If anybody wants to apply for the job,
Hey, the
I'm
coffee's kicking in. I'm starting to wake
taking
up
applications
here.
at Deanna@starksocial.com.
No, do not send her stuff. Do not.
Send me emails. That's fine. With your audio, any audio file that you have, just record something on your iPhone and send it to me. So targeted ads and relevant content are definitely likely to catch a baby boomer's attention on Facebook, or as I like to call it, the Facebook. The Facebook is a really great place because here's the thing is you're looking at a baby boomer generation who they've had their kids, they've raised their kids, and now they're probably raising their grandkids. And so they're looking to connect with family members. They're looking to connect with people who might be living across the country or all over the place. And so targeted advertising, as much as we hate it, as much as it's a pain in the butt, targeted advertising really is the way to reach this specific generation. And it's really easy to do when you're looking at the behaviors that are available to you in the Facebook advertising targeted market area.
These were the email forward people a few years ago. That would forward the email chains.
Oh, yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Facebook.
So you really want to take a look at also when you're putting your advertising together, you really want to take a look at video. So video is a good way to reach all of these generations, you'll find. But that you want to make sure that the video is something that is maybe a little less of that fast pace, like everything is so quick. They really want informational type videos. They want videos that speak to them understanding what it is you're offering, them something that they can share easily that the rest of their audience is going to understand. The really cool thing about the baby boomer generation on Facebook and also on Twitter is that if it's easy and it's simple and they feel that it's important and informative, they're going to share it regardless of any other kind of allegiance they might have. So they're definitely the share and save people that are on Facebook right now. You might also want to take a look at different types of content marketing. So those types of things generally bring the biggest ROI. Nate was making jokes about email right then and there. But the truth of the matter is that if you have a content marketing strategy that's in place, so you've got a good, for example, an email marketing strategy that specifically targets a specific age group, that's a really good way also. It's a good return on investment because if it's eye-catching, if it's engaging, again, and if it provides information that they feel is important and informative, they're going to go ahead and forward that email.
Yeah, they do like email. Baby boomers like email. And they'll respond. I mean, we have a concert series that we do and send out an email. And the same people will respond to the mass email every week. Just, hey, yeah, I'm going to be there. Like it's a personal email sent. So,
right.
They respond differently.
It's recognition, I think. I mean, I think if you have somebody who has signed up wholeheartedly that is a part of the baby boomer generation that signs up for an email list, it's because they want to get the information.
Right.
So if you send them something that makes sense, that's thoughtful and easy to understand, and it's clear and concise, you're definitely going to get a return. I know for a fact that when we do specific email marketing campaigns for the local property management company, every time I send out an email newsletter or a property announcement or something like that, the demographic is definitely the baby boomers who click on it and they look at it or they forward it. So you want to make sure that those types of emails are clear and concise and well thought out.
Well, I think the time when you send the email is probably determined by baby boomers, sending between usually 11 and 1. Because like my mom, for instance, when she was done with work at 5 o'clock or whatever, she didn't touch her phone. She didn't touch her email again. A lot of people, they still get it. They still get it pushed to their phones. Not with baby boomers all the time. It's like shut it off and I'm done. I'm going to watch TV or I'm going to spend time with the family.
Right.
I'm done with my electronics for the day sort of thing, where the other generations, it's more of a all day thing.
Right. No, absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things I think we talked about in the webinar series that I did recently was, knowing when and where to be available
right.
for your social media. And it's hard because as somebody who manages like 60 billion
I don't even know how you do it.
social media accounts. It's really tough to unplug, but at some point you have to. And I think that's what the baby boomer generation is really good at. So the last things on my baby boomer list, and Audio Guru is like 5 minutes. So it's direct mail and coupon marketing. And I am not a huge fan of direct mail, but I think there's a time and a place for it.
Right.
And for example, we see a lot of direct mail being successful with our real estate clients. So direct mail is good there. I think if you have a special offer or if you're introducing yourself to a community, like a new restaurant or a new store, those types of things, it's like that's how I learned about the new barbecue place in town, was because they sent a postcard.
Did they?
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of our friends get invited. We didn't get invited. I was offended.
You don't get invited to many places.
Oh man,
you're not in the foodie group.
That's true. I'm not really.
Yeah, there's like a select few people that get invited to all that stuff. But that's how I learned that they were opening. Was they sent a postcard, and it was really, really well done too. It was cute. It was like, the long awaited, because there were so many setbacks because of permits and stuff, which is fantastic.
We do need to go here because I've heard most of the barbecue places that we had in town were pretty meh.
Yeah. So
what about Audio Guru? You went there? Oh, okay.
Okay. So direct mail and coupon marketing is the last things on my list. The next thing we're going to talk about is the best ways to reach Gen Xers, which is there's a lot of overlap, obviously, between the generations, but you do need to understand that there's different ways to reach the different generations. And when you're trying to bridge that gap, you need to understand that when you're doing specific types of targeted marketing, that you want to make sure that you understand who you're marketing to and that each campaign is different. So you can't just blanket market to everybody, because there's a bunch of different people out there that are looking for information. So we'll talk about Gen Xers, and of course we'll talk about millennials last, not for any particular reason. So we will be back shortly on the Social Life podcast. Do you have anything to add before we go?
Take us away.
Take us away. We'll be back on the Social Life podcast. We're talking today about bridging the generational gap with social marketing. Don't go anywhere. Grab a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, pull over if you're driving. We'll see you in a little bit.
This is the Monkey. My parents run the best social media company around. Go to starksocial.com today.
Back to the Social Life. My name is Deanna Miller, and I'm not laughing at the Audio Guru making Mr. Bill dance. If you guys don't know who Mr. Bill is, you should go to YouTube and Google it and YouTube it, because there's a Mr. Bill's like rules for safety is the top search that comes up if you Google it, and it's hilarious. I don't know how many times I've seen it. No, it's absolutely not. Especially the one with the matches, like the fire safety. Oh my gosh. Crossing the street. Mr. Bill crossing the street. You have to look both ways. Okay.
We'll put it in the notes.
Speaking of generational gaps, everybody's like, who the heck is this Mr. Bill guy? Oh no, it's Mr. Bill. So we're talking today. We talked a little bit.
If baby boomers are still with us, because apparently I made fun of them too hard. I'm sorry, guys.
You're mean. We're talking about how to bridge the generational gap with social marketing, and I get this question a lot when I do webinars or trainings. I have different audiences, I have different markets. I'm specifically trying to advertise to millennials and baby boomers, and it's funny because in reading a couple of articles, and especially the one I found on QuickSprout, It's, even though Gen X is 60 million strong, they're often called the overlooked generation because, it's like middle child syndrome.
Yeah.
There's the baby boomers and then there's the millennials. And as I do research for clients, and I have a lot of real estate clients, realtors, that I manage social media accounts for, and local businesses and nonprofits, a lot of what I find in my research is targeted at millennials. So let's talk a little bit about the Gen Xers. So I think what's interesting is that, they're relatively strong across most social channels, and there's a lot of overlap, obviously, with baby boomers. But what's the best way to reach Gen Xers is what we're noticing a lot in the trends is that 80%, about 80%-ish, of Gen Xers download or stream video online on a regular basis, at least once per month. So video holds a really good appeal across all of the different generations. Because it's informative. And I think that we're seeing more and more as technology continues to improve and make our lives easy and lazy, that we just want to be able to see it, understand it, and decide how we feel about it.
Right.
So I think that's also plays a lot into how we design websites.
Yes.
Is people just want to see it and be able to find it and understand it and decide if they care.
Yeah, I think everything's moving towards making it a one-button push to get information now. I'm seeing websites now that have, you have a question, you type it in, and there's audio that actually plays that will read the page to you of a person that's reading the content.
Dude, that's crazy.
So,
we talked about this, so I know about it. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything's going that way to make it easier for people to, instead of reading it. It's basically the audiobook version of your website you can now create.
That's crazy.
Something to think about.
But that goes hand in hand with the concept of video. Like if you don't have
Right.
video incorporated in your social marketing, your digital marketing, or your website, you're going to miss out on several different types of users across the generations.
I mean, we've trained people to be this way. So there's just no fighting it. I mean, people are one button push. They want to watch a video.
Yeah.
Video used to be a real big luxury and something that didn't happen a lot because we had such low bandwidths. But now we have high-speed bandwidths and computers in our pockets. So
Get off the internet. I need to use the phone.
I know.
I don't know how many times I heard that.
We'll have to put a modem sound in there somewhere.
Hold on, it's loading.
Oh yeah, all night to download something on, and it would disconnect and he would lose everything.
I was actually reading another blog, and we'll add it in the show notes. But I was reading a blog that called Gen Xers the YouTube generation. Audio Guru was looking for sounds. There it is.
Oh, I remember what we couldn't get.
That's it right there. Hold on, Dad. I'm just trying to download this.
That brings back memories. I remember I had 2 lines. One was just for the internet, so we could actually get calls in and out before, when people had cell phones and home lines still.
I remember when we had to, when we got the internet and my dad realized, the dial-up and the phone, that was an issue because people were trying to call.
So we got the second line.
So then, I think it took him 2 weeks of that, and he was like, "Forget it, we're gonna get a second line."
What's worse is if you're in the middle of downloading something, and Dad's he had zero patience for this.
Right.
Get off the phone. It's like crap. Well, and if you would pick it up, it would mess it up anyways. So
right. Then all of a sudden, you're like, "What happened? What happened? I was just downloading
so
this
bad.
for school."
So bad.
But no, I was reading something where it was calling us fabulous Gen Xers the YouTube generation because YouTube became a thing
Right.
as we were getting into the world of the internet. And so it was like that whole concept of, oh my gosh, I'm watching cat videos 24/7 and it's amazing.
Yes, cat videos.
Cat videos.
Who doesn't love cat videos?
I
Everyone says they don't, and then they see one, and then they're like,
do, but
enamored
it's
with it.
got to be a good one.
Right.
There's some cat videos, they're just phoning it in.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so your cat lays on your couch all day.
You see the one with the cucumber?
I
You
don't
just
know.
put
It sounds like the start of a dirty joke.
No, you get a cat. You get and there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of cats that'll be eating or something, and then they'll put a cucumber by it, and it'll turn around and suddenly discover
Oh,
cucumber.
I thought it was a
freak
banana.
Out.
I thought it was a banana.
Could be banana too.
I think it was a
Anything
banana.
that catches a cat off guard.
Let us know if we get it wrong.
Do a backflip.
So let's move down the list. So obviously Facebook. Facebook, it's safe to say, is a good place to look for us Gen Xers. If you are friends with Nate on Facebook, you know he's on there all day long.
That's what I do.
Twitter, 8.5 million people use it regularly, and it's a really honest to goodness place to find Gen Xers. Gen Xers, actually, if you look at the people who put Twitter together, it was specifically built for microblogging. So it was that whole generation that was really building the blogging movement back in the day when I was young.
When everybody had a blog.
When everyone had a blog.
Read my blog. I should read my blog.
But so that brings us into the next one. So Twitter, blogging, and that all goes hand in hand with another idea that I found online of making sure that your content is educational. Gen Xers are specifically looking for informative, educational content. So we talked about baby boomers looking for easy to understand explanations, and I think the two all kind of go hand in hand. It's just how you develop that marketing strategy. So you don't have to make like 30,000 different types of videos to explain the same thing.
Right.
But if you market it in a specific way, let's say in a Facebook ad that targets a specific demographic, Mr. Bill's looking at me shocked, then you can use the same content. You just tweak it a little bit on Facebook or Twitter or in your blog so that it's consistent with your messaging, but it's targeting a different demographic with different wording, different messaging, and building those audiences in, like, for example, Facebook ads. You were going to say something?
I need to get you a Mr. Bill for the office. You're just really enamored with it.
It brings back memories. It was so much fun, like watching the stuff on, what was it, Saturday Night Live?
Saturday Night Live, I think.
Yeah, it was Saturday Night Live. And then, of course, the last thing on our list is email. But specifically with Gen Xers, the thing that is important to them is that it's mobile friendly. Because we use our phone.
True.
We use our phone for information. So it's funny because I know that specifically my dad doesn't use his mobile phone for information. He'll go to his tablet to go and Google stuff rather than Googling from his phone, which is funny to me because it's like, oh, your phone is in your hand, but you're going to get up and walk across the room to get the tablet or go on the computer for 2 hours. So the Gen Xers, according to statistics, were much more likely to read your email or click on it if it's mobile friendly. So you need to make sure that you're appealing to the generations. It's a lot of stuff to take into account. But when you're putting together your projects and your marketing strategy, you might not necessarily be looking to attract baby boomers, but if you can, grab a couple as you go along, that would be cool. But you want to make sure that you're targeting your specific generation if that's your audience. And what I like to do when I'm building Facebook or Twitter or now Instagram ads is I'm building those. I'll put together different sets for each generation or for each different audience. So I'll say, men between the ages of, 22 to 35. And you do specific types of things like education, income, where do they live? We do a lot of political campaigns up and down all over the place. And those are really important statistics to know about, especially if you're looking at the different generations and locations.
Yes.
I'm glad he's just here to confirm what I said. All right. So we hear a lot about millennials in the news.
Mostly bad.
I think I think the thing is that it's such a weird, like,
very fickle
mishmash of different types of people raised in different ways. There's no set, like, I think it's cast in such a wide net for such a large group of people.
Right.
And it's a huge group of people. Millennials will outnumber baby boomers by 22 million by 2030, according to statistics. And it's a generation that just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And
I think they're done growing.
And the weird thing about it is that there's such a discrepancy between the years. Like, it starts here and then it's here and then it just seems like it's going on forever. It started here and it's still going, and it's like, ugh. So I I think the thing is a lot of what we're seeing on social media is that the millennials have a completely different language. So Gen Xers, we had certain catchphrases and things that were kind of generational depending on, our parents and the type of music we listen to. And what I'm seeing is, according to a lot of marketing experts, that millennial generation has its own language. So they've created words to replace words that are words that we would understand.
Right.
So, so like things like being on fleek. I'm still not sure.
Hold on, let me Google this.
I know. And the thing you see everywhere in like memes and stuff is like bae, right? So bae has like 10 different meanings. It's like best friend, boyfriend,
I thought it was
girlfriend.
Babe. Like babe.
No. You're so old. Get with the program.
Well, I saw this sign this guy pulled up, and he's like, it was like, like Rihanna is such a bae, and I thought it meant babe.
No,
No?
I think I
wrong?
think it means like a bunch of different things. Maybe people can tell us. I don't know.
Well, I think if you actually say anything with certainty, you would be, like labeled ignorant or something.
Right. So I'm just gonna say like I have no idea.
It can be anything.
I'm not sure. But this generation spends the most amount of time on the internet, whether it's on mobile devices or sitting down at their Mac, because the majority of them are actually Mac users. So,
Okay, Fleck, F-L-E.
Fleek.
Fleek. F-L-E.
E-K, Fleek.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll get
Not
back.
Fleck. And not Flick. But so the millennials are actually spending a lot more time. They're an internet culture, and marketing experts and people who've done a lot of research. The people I learned from. What? He's laughing.
The first one on Urban Dictionary. Perhaps a typing error, or people just write it to make themselves original or unique.
That's awesome.
It's probably like one of us wrote that.
So 91% are regular internet users, with the average millennial spending 25 hours online per week. So if you think about it, most of the time, whether they're working or spending personal time, most of them are actually online the majority of the time. They're heavily involved in social media. The things that you want to take into account when you're trying to best reach millennials is mobile marketing. Number one, everything needs to be mobile friendly. Mobile is their generation. 9 times out of 10, we're looking at people who have an entrepreneurial background. We're looking at people who are working as contractors, remote positions, or they have some sort of job that's involved in the tech industry of some kind. So you're looking at people who are mobile marketing savvy. Everything is about being able to reach them where they are, and it doesn't matter where they are in the world because they're looking at their phones 9 times out of 10.
Right. So digital media is very throwaway to the millennial market.
Right. So it's different. You definitely want to make sure that you're going deeper than just Facebook and Twitter. And we're running out of time, so I'm going to talk faster. You want to make sure that you're going deeper than just Facebook and Twitter. So you want to look at all of these different types of social media things out there. We've talked about Snapchat before. We've talked about all the different types of mobile apps that do video. Those things are very, 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 very important. Millennials are much more likely to look at content that is appears to be user generated or organic, off the cuff, really new and innovative types of ways. They are also another generation that's looking very hard at video. So video is fun and engaging and they like it, but they're also looking for influencer marketing. So that goes back to user generated content, getting it on mobile. They really want to focus on the Periscope and the Snapchat, things that are fun and interesting, that are going to be the notifications on their phone. It comes up, I think I was looking at something that Pepsi had put together that was an overview about how they were looking to engage people during the summer that were in the millennial market. So, Coke, Pepsi, Nike, they're all very heavily invested in Snapchat and Periscope and other platforms that offer video because it's easy to reach them instantly with content that's funny and it's coming right to their mobile phone.
I'm with Bill Simmons, though. He said, if anyone over 35 that says they understand Snapchat is lying.
Oh, well, I don't think that's true. I actually know some people who
I
are
love his
over
show.
35 that get Snapchat much better than I do.
They're lying.
No, I think that's not true. I think that's just a cop-out because he doesn't get it.
I think his show's great. His commercials, he's on HBO, Wednesdays with Bill Simmons.
I don't think he's funny.
Oh, we disagree.
I like the guests he has on, but other than that, I'm like, he's kind of dry. Anyway, we're running out of time, and you just did a commercial for Bill Simmons. Good job.
He's great.
So you really want to think about consumer-generated content when you're looking at millennials. I think the important thing to look at is obviously read the show notes when you're done with this podcast. We'll have a lot of different ideas and tips on there and information. But when you're looking at generational marketing, you want to make sure that you're focusing on specific areas, different social media channels, different apps, and places where they're going to be in order to get their attention. And I think that's what a lot of brands are doing is they're stepping outside of their comfort zone and stepping outside of the box in order to reach the audience, which is going to increase awareness about their brand. So if you're looking to build influencers, if you're looking to build on your audience, if you're looking to generate content, you definitely want to sit down and put together a strategy based on who your audience is, what you're looking to accomplish, and where you're looking to accomplish it. And then set your goals every month and try and meet them the best that you can with generating good, solid content. I think that's all the time we have for today. As always, I'm Deanna Miller, co-founder, marketing director with Stark Social Media Agency. If you have questions, comments, or concerns about what we talked about today, go ahead and email me, hello@starksocial.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/starksocial, Twitter and Instagram with the handle @starksocial. And don't forget to look at us up on YouTube. Search Stark Social Media Agency or just go to starksocial.com to find more information about where else you can find us. Thanks for joining me today, Nate.
Yep.
You're so helpful. I don't know. I'm just going to talk to Mr. Bill next time.
Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill. Thanks so much for joining us on The Social Life. Check us out next time when we will be talking more about Facebook's new 360.
Ooh, preview.
La, la, la.